This semester, our School of Information graduate student team, together with the National Oceanic Atmospheric Association and our client at the Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory, conducted an extensive usability evaluation of a website known by its acronym in the aquatic research world as GLANSIS. The Great Lakes Aquatic Non-Indigenous Species Information System calls itself a one-stop shop for information about aquatic non-indigenous species in the Laurentian Great Lakes region of North America. GLANSIS is a public database that hosts regional data about identification, ecology, distribution, environmental and socioeconomic impacts, management, and control of non-indigenous species throughout the Great Lakes Basin. GLANSIS consolidates a wealth of bibliographic material and is considered a reliable and appreciated resource by students, educators, invasive species researchers, and biologists of all kinds. However, there are potential changes that could increase ease of use for our client's target audience, Great Lakes resource managers. This project seeks to evaluate the usability, transparency, ease of access, and awareness of GLANSIS's features for that specific group. Researchers like Wade Warren, for example, need up-to-date information about invasive species and government regulations. Our assessment covered GLANSIS's three main features. The Species List Generator allows users to access species profiles, interactive maps of all recorded occurrences, and the ability to generate a custom list based on specific lakes, species, categories, and more. The Map Explorer allows users to visualize the geographic distribution of non-indigenous species by generating custom maps that can compare up to 3 species at a time. And 3. The Risk Assessment Clearinghouse allows users to run side-by-side comparisons of risk assessment methods using the Methods Explorer. The Species Results Explorer provides access to legal regulations and risk assessments results for individual species. Our assessment methods include creating an interaction map, conducting interviews, surveying, and doing heuristic and comparative evaluations. Lastly, usability testing with 4 people confirmed common pain points and revealed key findings that will provide actionable recommendations that GLANSIS can implement in the short and long term.
What did we discover about the usability of GLANSIS? Throughout our assessment, users consistently reflected that there's a high level of trust and appreciation for GLANSIS among researchers. Even if a resource manager does not have direct experience with GLANSIS, the positive reputation of the website as a quick, accurate, and relevant source of information precedes it. Users are overall pleased with the transparency and accessibility of the metadata. Since users are pleased with the transparency and accessibility of metadata, it would be beneficial to continue prioritizing efforts to maintain and enhance these aspects. Users appreciate having access to updated and relevant literature through the Risk Assessment Clearinghouse. One user we interviewed said that he liked the ability to access peer-reviewed information without having to go through the hassle of going through libraries, pages of Google's, or paywalls. The many useful features of GLANSIS are used by those who know about them. We also found recurring pain points that stalled user progress and caused confusion. While most problems were considered minor problems in our heuristic evaluations, 26 issues were rated a major usability problem or usability catastrophe. Our heuristic evaluation revealed 12 issues related to consistency and standards. We also identified 8 issues: help and documentation, flexibility and efficiency of use, and visibility of system status. With these results, let's summarize our biggest key findings. The navigation is not sufficiently transparent. Inconsistent page and feature labeling and navigation irregularities cause confusion for users. By redesigning the information architecture of the website, users will be able to discover the new features more easily. The Species Result Assessment, Map Explorer, and Methods Explorer interfaces are not always intuitive for the user. The various embedded interactive search features do not offer sufficient feedback and signifiers to guide users. GLANSIS has many helpful how-to resources and unique elements that could be more prominently displayed and easier to find. Features like the story maps, help article, the AIS video series, and the glossary are excellent and underutilized features to highlight. While our evaluation focused on the usability of GLANSIS for our Great Lakes resource managers, GLANSIS also strives to serve educators and budding biologists. Our recommendation will improve the interface for all and support the needs of the target audience.
This priority matrix divides our recommendations into 4 quadrants based on impact and effort. Let's start with the more easily implementable recommendations, the low-effort, high-impact quadrant. Things like reconnecting the Twitter X account on the home page, increasing font sizes, labeling icons, and defining clear text hierarchies will increase accessibility and usability. Our first recommendation is to improve the site's information architecture. We recommend consistently naming each feature on the website. We recommend standardizing all page names and differentiating similar pages with the actions users can take on that page. For example, the Risk Assessment Clearinghouse has 2 features that have different names in different places on the website. The Species Results Explorer is also called the Species Level Risk Assessments Explorer. Let's call it the Species Risk Explorer. We also recommend updating the homepage menu navigation in order to make it a little more intuitive. We recommend separating the FAQ and the About pages. We also recommend providing navigation breadcrumbs so users can be reminded of their location rather than having to recall from memory. Our second recommendation is to improve the site's intuitive design, usability, and accessibility. We recommend doing this by using visual hierarchies to highlight important content and text. We recommend categorizing the information into different levels of importance. For example, the checkboxes for the comparison feature on the risk assessment page are tiny and difficult to find at a glance. We encourage the users to utilize this function by making the boxes bigger or using different colors to make them more salient. We also recommend clearer guidelines in the search field so users can better understand what information the system requires for a successful search. When using the different features on the GLANSIS website, it would be beneficial to clarify which fields are required and which fields are optional. This could include providing a few sentences to explain how to search, or using a red asterisk to indicate required fields, or use hotspots that provide more information when the mouse is hovered over them. When users need to fill in text fields or select from a drop-down menu, it is often unclear as to which fields are required, or if populating another field will end up depopulating others. Our third main recommendation is to improve the overall design and visual appeal by using custom illustration assets from the Managing Great Lakes Invaders video series as icons. Since GLANSIS already has invested in these graphics, we recommend using them throughout the website as illustrative icons. Recommendation number 4 is to create a how-to guide for the Risk Clearinghouse Methods Explorer and the Species Results Explorer. These newer features would benefit from full how-to explanations. Our fifth recommendation and our final recommendation, and a challenging one to implement, would be to redesign the embedded feature interfaces on the species risk assessment pages. Since the maps are powered by outside sources, it may be difficult to fully redesign these, but it is worth attempting because they could be made more user-friendly and responsive. Our research revealed many positive aspects and areas of improvement for GLANSIS, but there are research shortcomings due to project scope limitations. Next steps would be to employ the survey to the Great Lakes resource managers to gain further user insight. While our recommendations are based on extensive interviews and research, there is more to be learned from the target audience that will give detailed insight into our final design recommendations. This survey will be conducted after the semester concludes. Thank you for watching, and remember, help stop aquatic hitchhikers.